精密照準開始。急速装填起動。敵艦を撃墜。目標に着弾。精密照準開始。
お前はもう死んでいる。
敵艦を撃墜。見事だ。敵大破。敵艦を撃墜。勝ちそうだ。敵チームが海域をセットした。敵に命中。攻撃されています。悪かった。ダメだ。油断だ。精密照準。
何？
天皇陛下万歳。拠点を防衛しろ。見事だ。攻撃されています。
Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is BobLyn and you're watching Cruisers of Blitz. This is episode 10 and today we are taking a look at the Yoshino. The premium tier 10 Japanese heavy cruiser. It's a supercruiser. As you can see, it's absolutely enormous. And it boasts the classic Japanese suite of very powerful torpedoes, good HE and good concealment. It's also extremely squishy and huge, as you can see, and it's very easy for battleships and DDs and aircraft carriers to take you down. So it's one of those ships that it's really like a glass cannon, but it's a very fun ship, and it bridges the gap between the Yamato and the Sao, in my opinion. It's kind of like a super Sao and a mini Yamato. So let's check out how I set it up and then how to play this ship. It's actually one of my favorites. I absolutely adore the Yoshino and hate the Azuma, but the Yoshino it's kind of its own tier of fun for me. It's really dear to my heart. So yeah, let's go see what I do with it. So the Yoshino gets 310mm guns. It gets 9 in 3 turrets. Pretty standard setup. It also gets secondaries, auto secondaries, no manual secondaries though. So these are, I mean, the range is so short that I can't kind of forget you have them. 3.8 kilometers. They do decent damage once they, get in range, but it's very rare that you do use your auto secondaries. As you can see, it also gets a precise aim, 3 precise aim 1, 2 rapid reload 1, and 2 sonar 1. So it's got some good utility, and these two in synergy with each other is just really good for setting people on fire. The HE on Yoshino is, in my opinion, where it's at. That's what you should be using. 12% fire chance and very good damage too. The AP is not bad at all. I also use the AP, but only in certain situations. Against BBs, DDs, and heavy cruisers, I will mostly be using HE. But as you will see in the gameplay, I also use AP there. The torpedoes are absolutely godlike. They have an 11.2 kilometer range, which is insane, and they go pretty fast as well. And there's 8 on each side. They're just standard Japanese torpedoes. The AA is pretty bad. Well, it's not bad, but you can't guarantee to not get struck by a CV. You will definitely get hit. But it shoots down some planes, and in conjunction with other ships, it's not bad. The surface detection, 8.7 with my build. I run a full surface detection mod, so keep that in mind. And here's the elite ship bonus. I went with elite gun operator, and yeah, instead of this, because torpedo damage reduction doesn't make sense for this ship. There's 2 camos. We have the historical camo, and that's the one I rock because I think it's overall better. This one gives firing range and AA range, whereas this gives traverse speed, torpedo range, firing range, and surface detection. All very good things for the Yoshino. But this thing, well, it looks pretty cool. I just prefer the historical one, actually. Alright, so the way I set up my Yoshino is with Precise or Main Battery Mod 3, just because it's pretty accurate, but it doesn't get Precise Aiming 2, and with these shells, when I do use a lot of HE, I just want to hit as many shells as possible to maximize the fire chance. Same story with the Goliath and the Sow. Just because it's so vital to get those HE shells on target when you're playing with RNG. Second slot, I use steering gears just to be more maneuverable. I wouldn't use propulsion because, you are sitting at the back most of the time, so I just don't find the need for propulsion mod. I'd rather slam the brakes and go full reverse and then just turn out like you saw in the montage. It's very effective, and most of the time it can save you a lot of damage. And then along with that, I also use concealment systems to get my surface detection down. This is something new I've tried in the last 6 months, and this is going to be my new standard setup. It brings the surface detection down to, let's see, 8.77 with, of course, the camo and the supplies. And when you have torpedoes that have an 11.23 kilometer range, that's, like what, 2.4, I'm not very good at math. That's a pretty good buffer zone for you to stealth torp. That's insanely good when you're playing a supercruiser. Alright, so for the commander, I have a standard commander. He's level 12 because I played a lot of Yoshino. I played a lot Yoshino. The first one, underwater border protection, pretty standard. This one I did to get another sonar. You don't have AA defense alert, but another sonar is nice when you're such a big ship. And in the late game, when you push in and there's some DDs, it's nice to have. Artillery maintenance, again to get more dispersion. And since you are a sniper ship, you sit at the back of the map. It's gonna benefit you for some time. Victorious charge, recover 1.5% of your maximum HP. This one is a must-have because you get another precise aim and another rapid reload. So 4 precise aim and 3 rapid reloads in total. Exploit weakness, also very, very important on this ship, on Japanese cruisers, because you do deal with a lot of fire and flooding. We have marksman, also very important because you want to maximize your precise aiming. Adrenaline rush, again because you don't have manual secondaries, but you have 3 out of the 4 it benefits. Demolition expert, master reloader, because again you have rapid reload, and this is where it it's up to you really. I used to use APCS when I had Isoroku Yamamoto on here, the legendary commander, but I mean he just didn't really fit this ship, so I swapped him out. Back then I used APCS and it was good, right? It's APCS plus and it's gonna hurt, but I just didn't use the AP as much as I wanted to, so I swapped out to IFHE, and this is what I've been using since. It's great. You can get HE citadels on pretty much everything, and it happens sometimes. Not as often as with AP, but you definitely get them. And Giant Hunter. Yeah, you have a lot of torpedoes, so boost them. So if you already, if you might have noticed, my voice sounds a little bit different. I recently got the flu, and that's why my voice might sound a little weird. But yeah, it shouldn't matter. Alright guys, so here we are with the game. We're playing on Epicenter on the map Chain. Pretty good map I think, and I love Epicenter, so it's gonna be a good match I think. So we're playing against the GK, a Worcester, and 2 Hollands. That's, you know, to note. The GK is a great target for any HE spammer. I think you know that by now if you've watched Darker Dudes. It lights on fire pretty fast, and that's why I love shooting at it. Also, most GK players, even though they have a sonar, I don't think they respect the fact that they're a huge ship, so they can't really stop. So they might just activate their sonar, but they don't realize they actually have to maneuver as well. So, you know, for me, they're great targets. So the Yoshino is, I guess you can call it a mini Yamato or a super Sao. I'd like to call it a super Sao because trust me, it's not a Yamato. It doesn't have the armor, it doesn't have the guns. The guns though are great on this ship. They're like, you know, HE railguns. They have great range and they are very accurate because I spec main battery mod 3, I think it's called, not dispersion mod. As you can see also, when I run the full surface detection build, my surface detection is extremely low for a heavy cruiser, or sorry, a super cruiser. I can stealth torp with, I think, almost 3 kilometers buffer zone. That's really good for a, you know, for a cruiser, especially a super cruiser. My Sao doesn't even get that, and it's running the legendary mod. So yeah, that says something, and it's really nice to have on the Yoshino because you are a huge ship and you will get focused because, for example, a Colombo salvo, a full Colombo sap salvo will take you down to, I mean, on a good day 50% HP, on a bad day 30%. You will take so much pain from a Colombo and also other BBs of course, but the sap is especially painful to you. So here you see the AP in action against a light cruiser. When a Worcester is just sitting like this, not paying attention to me, and you know there's no other threats coming my way. Yes, there's an Ibuki, but it's a bot, and he's getting torpedo souped and sapped by a Colombo, so he's not a problem. Definitely use your AP on targets that you know you will hit. I most of the time use HE on the Yoshino, especially against DDs. You want to be using HE. 1 shell from a Yoshino. I'm not sure without IFHE, but with IFHE you deal, you know, approximately flat out 1,000 damage per shell. That's not bad. That's like, you know, Venezia sap levels, so you could definitely hurt some destroyers if you get a precise salvo in. And we're gonna see that later. And you saw them, what's it called, the montage as well. That shimmer, he got nuked pretty hard. So now we're gonna focus the GK and we're gonna stay parallel to these torps. As you saw, I was preemptively turning my ship towards that Holland because I knew that he had most likely launched torps at me. So you always want to keep that in mind when you're playing these huge ships, especially battleships, because you can dodge, but you have to think like your opponent. You have to think. It's like chess. You have to think 5 steps ahead to, you know, stay alive. And that's what we're gonna do here with the other Holland. We know he's probably torping us, so I activate my sonar, and then I turn away. Well, I'm sorry, I did not turn away. I actually just commended my Shimakaze here for completely annihilating the Brindisi. I don't know what it is, but Brindisi's and me, when I play Cruises Blitz, when I try to get footage for this, they always get nuked by Shimakazes, and I'm like, how can you let that happen? Sure, of course, if a Shimakaze gets too close, you're done in a cruiser, but you're an Italian cruiser, you should be able to counter that Shimakaze. But, you know, it is Abracadabra. He's an extremely dangerous player in the Shimakaze from my own experience. I've died to him many times, so maybe it's just that. But yeah, you can see I can barely hit this Holland, and I don't know why. It's just me and my bad aim. The Yoshino is precise enough, so I can't chuck it up to bad RNG because it's just me. So we got the GK here, and we missed some torps unfortunately, but luckily we have another side, and these are 8 610mm torpedoes coming right at this guy's broadside. It's gonna hurt. Sure, he's gonna kill us if we don't take him out, because in brawling range of a GK you don't stand a chance without your torpedoes. But luckily we got a full salvo in, and the Shimakaze is helping us. Thank you, Abracadabra. And here comes the coup de grace of high explosive. Goodbye, Großer Kurfürst. And see who popped up. See who decided to show up to the party here. Let's give him a warm welcome with a good old high explosive clap. Goodbye, Holland. So that was a pretty satisfying end to the game. And I would say a pretty good showcase of what the Yoshino can do in the right hands. The Yoshino is, it's a great ship. It's fun. It really is. But you know, you gotta respect its shortcomings, and there's a lot of them. So yeah, that's pretty much the game. 112,000 damage, not bad. 11 torpedo hits. It's not often you get that many hits, but something I do, and I do this with a lot of ships that have very long range torpedoes but aren't necessarily a torpedo focused ship. For example, the Schlieffen, the Elbing. I just chuck them down channels. I mean, it's like a gamble. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't, but when you do get that devastating strike on a destroyer you can't even see, it feels so good, and they are definitely useful for that. Alright guys, so there you can see the scoreboard. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Alright guys, that has been my Cruises of Blitz episode on the Yoshino. Now the Yoshino is personally one of my favorite ships. It has been in my port for, well, almost the entirety of my time here on Blitz. It has, I think I have the third most battles on this ship, and overall I just love this thing. She's a thick lady, she's fun to play, but also challenging. If you like those, you know, niche playstyles, like if you play the Sao, if you enjoy that playstyle, you'll definitely love the Yoshino. But stay away from the Asuma. The Asuma is trash. Straight up, nothing more needs to be said. The Asuma is trash. But the Yoshino is a different story. It's a lot more fun because you have those torps. And if you were to play this, I would go with the stealth build, just because you are still a squishy ship. But enough of that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. My name has been BobLyn, signing off.